Hey guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon XY Wi-Fi battle with me, the One Integral. So this time we have another battle from my stream the other day, this time against Jenni. Now this battle was very interesting. It was a very close battle, very close I think it was if I remember rightly, and a very stooly battle too. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Let's just get straight on with it and I'll try and keep up with the plays. So this battle was a total of, how many turns was it? 35 turns, so a reasonably long battle, not amazingly long, but still. So Jenni starts off with her Captain Eco, which is sort of her mascot, I'm assuming, obviously being a Meowstic. I start off with my Greninja. Captain Eco goes for the Toxic to get the Toxic on me, I assume, thinking she could survive whatever I could throw at it. Unfortunately though, I go for Dark Pulse, switch to Dark type, bit of Dark Pulse stab, obviously a timid Greninja against Captain Eco, and unfortunately Meowstic's gone very quickly. So it's unfortunate for her that she lost her mascot so early, but what can you do sometimes? What can you do? So the poison and the toxic slightly affect me, meaning I can't keep Greninja out for too long, otherwise obviously, you know, that will hurt. Ninjask comes out, so I think I take my Greninja out and I switch into my Agunai, who is my Arcanine. Now Ninjask, as you guys will know, is a baton passer. That's what it's going to do. It's going to set up with some speed boosts, some sword dances, and baton pass to someone who can make use of that. So I know I need to get rid of this thing as soon as I can, so that they get a sword dance off, but minus the intimidate. So they've got one attack boost and one speed boost. They go for the agility, which means they have 3 speed boosts, 1 attack boost. I go for the flare blitz, as you would expect, and as you would expect, it is focus sashed, and then it obviously activates focus sash there, which is, you know, it's predictable really. So I get a bit of damage by the recoil, another speed boost, and then now at 1 attack boost and 5 speed boosts or something like that. I know they're about to baton pass to someone, so I can get a free switch somewhere. So I switch out to my Alakazam. There you go for the baton pass there, and they baton pass onto there. Everybody have a drum roll. They pass onto there. Chibi, who is Jenni's Donphan. Nice shiny Donphan too. So that Donphan now has 1 attack boost and 5 speed boosts, which means it's going to outspeed everything I have on my team, even this Mega Alakazam I'm evolving here. So, now at this point people were saying, you know, why did I use what I used next? Because next up they go for the Earthquake, and because I traced Sturdy, that actually allowed me to live the Earthquake, which is very handy actually. You know, and we go for the Psyshock. Some people are saying, why do you use Psyshock? Why not go for a move that was based around, you know, special defense rather than physical? Because apparently Donphan is mainly physical, not special. I didn't really think that through. I should have chosen something else like Focus Blast, maybe done a bit more damage there, but who knows. So I switch out to my Cresselia, predicting another Earthquake, but they go for the Ice Shard instead, and Cresselia takes that like a boss. Like a boss. Even with that attack boost, Cresselia just takes it. So then leftovers actually almost restore Cresselia to full health. They go for the Play Rough, hoping to get some more damage off, but we still take that pretty damn well. And I decide to get a Toxic off on this Donphan, so I know it's not going to be able to sweep my whole team, because the Toxic is eventually going to weaken them down and allow me to actually stop this thing, because it could, you know, potentially go for the rest of my team. So the poison goes off there, and sort of starts weakening them down. They actually switch out now, knowing that they can't use very much against me. They need something else, and they switch out to Rift, possibly just to sack Rift off, predicting the Ice Beam from the Cresselia there, which indeed it is used and then kills Rift. So at least we don't have to deal with any more baton passing going on for the rest of this game. At least that's out of the way. And this is where I think the game gets a tiny bit stooly, because they send out their Vivian, who is their Umbreon. So we have Cresselia, a highly special defensive and also defensive Pokemon, versus Umbreon, a special defensive Pokemon. I go for the Toxic, knowing that's going to be my best way to deal with Umbreon. Obviously, a Synchronized then actually poisons me too, so that's, you know, bad for me. But you know, they go for the Toxic anyway, so we both would have been poisoned at the end of the term, and we're both going to end up taking Toxic damage, because, you know, they know that's the only way they're going to take either of us out. By the Toxic stalling pretty much. So both get hit by poison. I then switch my Cresselia out, thinking, you know, I'll switch it out. I will see what I can do, maybe I can stall out against this thing, something like that. I switch it into my Shuckle, my other staller. They go for the Dark Pulse, which Shuckle takes reasonably well, and then obviously they get a leftovers boost there, so that's going to help them sort of counteract the poison a tiny bit, but overall they're still going to get to them in the end most likely. So then Shuckle goes for the Protect, predicting a Toxic coming off, or any other type of move. And indeed, there goes the Toxic. Shuckle, it goes, dies to Toxic, so I should really think about possibly running a Lumberry on it. I think this Shuckle is running a Rocky Helmet rather than Leftovers, so unfortunately it's not going to do much against this Umbreon, but that's just my problem. Vivian goes for the Toxic there and gets it off this time because I can't protect twice in a row, or because I don't want to protect twice in a row. I go for the Shell Smash, knowing that I'm going to be able to very nicely take attacks from there with our defense rises, which is not bad. But obviously the Toxic is going to hamper our ability to actually just stay in for as long as we can. The Leftovers activate, sort of counteracting the poison a bit more there, but really it's not going to do a whole lot. In the end, they will go down to Toxic. That's just how it's going to work. So then they go for actually a withdrawal. They know that they don't want to stay for too long with the Toxic activating because they know eventually they're going to go down fairly quickly. And they send in their Roselia, who has Trap. I go for the Protect. Obviously, it's not going to do anything. And then Trap's going to be able to, just use some sort of move against us. Goes for the Venoshock actually, which is a really good choice actually. Obviously working wonders there with the Umbreon. I go for the Toxic myself, not realising poison types can't be poisoned. I always forget that, whether they can or not. Shuckle's taking some more damage here, and I predicted I could survive another Venoshock, and I could then go for a rest, which indeed I do here. So I rest up, get rid of the Toxic actually, which is very nice, and obviously get up to full health points with this, which is not bad at all. And then once that's done, they actually switch out, obviously back to Vivian. No, okay, I predicted back to Vivian, but they got to Chibi, their Donphan, and I actually switch out too, because I know I want Shuckle just sort of back now, because Shuckle can't do anything for a few turns. And I send in my my lovely Arcanine next. Arcanine's Intimidate goes off, helps out against the Donphan quite a lot, and then the poison sort of hurts Donphan a tiny bit. And then I think I switch out straight away. I go for the double switch and go out to Cresselia, predicting an Earthquake coming off. Obviously Cresselia has Levitate, so it's going to be immune to it. And then they actually switch out again, so we both did a double switch there, which is very nice. And they go out to their Vivian. So we're really just switching back and forth here, and we're back to the battle of the Stallers. Both with Leftovers, both with Toxic. I'm at a better position because of the higher health points, but that's just the way it works really. So next up. Then okay, Toxic damage still activates. This is a very long battle because of the stalling, but eventually we will get there. All the Toxic damage going off, all the Leftovers, everything like that. So I go for the Ice Beam, knowing obviously Psychic is not going to affect them, so my only chances are Ice Beam. Does almost nothing to that Umbreon because of its special defense. They go for the Dark Pulse, which are going to get a super effective hit off and actually do a fair amount of damage against Cresselia with. So obviously they're doing more damage to me than I am to them. But my benefit, or my advantage, comes a bit further on into the video. So then, a bit of health points coming back from the Leftovers, and more Toxic working away there. Here we are, working its way down. Almost, yeah, so we're at sort of a better position here than them, because we have more health points. Ice Beam goes off again, it's not going to do much again, but that's just the way it works. Vivian goes for the Wish. So they have Wish as a half point restoration tactic, and obviously Wish and Protect is the general setup for Umbreon. Nice Wish, nice Protect, so then obviously they get the nice Wish coming in. Unfortunately, their downside to that is that it works through Toxic. Toxic still goes even though the Protect's at the second turn, so they could get taken out by Toxic damage. So we'll have to see how that works out. So more Toxic damage works away. They go for the Protect. I believe I go for, what do I go for here? I go for the Moonlight, knowing I'm going to die from Toxic damage this turn as well if I don't. So the Moonlight heals me up, which is, it's a benefit to having Moonlight over Wish, because it does it in one turn rather than in two. They get the Wish coming back there, so they get almost the same health points as myself. So again, you can see where the stalling is coming in here. We get back to full health points with this lovely Leftovers here, and they're not quite at full health points, but they're almost there. So we're back to square one almost, apart from the fact that the Toxic is actually well into its cycle at the moment, and it's doing quite a lot of damage to both of us. About, I don't know, a quarter damage almost. I go for the Ice Beam again, knowing it's not going to do much, but thinking I may as well try. They go for the Dark Pulse, knowing they're going to be able to do some decent damage with that. Actually gets down to about half health points. The Leftovers work in, the Toxics work in, and that's just going to bring our health points up and down again. Just wait for all this to go through. So it's a very long match because of all the Toxic, all the Leftovers happening, loads of stuff happening. So Toxic actually brings us down to 55 health points, which is quite low, and actually brings them to down to about the same. I know they're going to go down in the next turn from Toxic. They go for the Protect, but I was more worried about keeping myself alive, so I went for the Moonlight instead. Healed up because I knew I was going to die from Toxic damage, and I knew I couldn't take him out with an Ice Beam, so I wasn't going to sort of go for Suicide Run rather. And went for the Moonlight and healed up. Leftovers work their magic there. Same with Umbreon, going to get a bit more leftovers power there. But will it be able to survive a Toxic the Toxic damage rather. Toxic damage actually does quite a lot, over half now for Cresselia, or almost half rather, and the Toxic does the same for the Umbreon, finishing it off. So the Battle of the Stallers, Cresselia won in the end, but that was just that. They send out Static, who is their Ampharos. Now this is the thing that really turned the game around, because at this point I was going pretty strong. I lost like one Pokemon maybe, I think it was, so I was going pretty damn strong here. However, this Ampharos just really wrecks through my team. So it goes for the Agility just to get double speed boost, which is going to help it out quite a lot. And then it goes to the Mega Evolution. Not sure why I shouldn't go for the Mega Evolution on the first turn rather than the second, but maybe she was just waiting until it's safe, I guess, to gain that Dragon type, I guess. Yeah, because of the Ice Beam on the Cresselia, I guess, is the option, was the reason there. They go for the Focus Blast, which is going to do some clean neutral damage to us. And actually does, yeah, almost half, maybe a third damage on the Shuckle there, which is pretty powerful. They go for them for the Dragon Pulse next turn, realizing they can get some stab neutral damage off, and it does it's pretty much just under half there. We're still asleep, however, we didn't wake up in time. I was hoping to get a Toxic off, but unfortunately it's not happening. They go for the Dragon Pulse once more, and actually almost kill us, 3 health points, so I managed to get Toxic off eventually, leaving us on 3 health points. So obviously they're going to be able to take us out next turn. I decide here I'm going to go for the Protect first, just basically stalling out here, Toxic stalling, because I know Shuckle can't really do anything else. They go for the Agility, predicting the Protect, so now they're at +4 speed now, but I knew they weren't going to switch out because of the fact that they got the speed boost, so there's no point of them switching out particularly. So I go for the Protect again, hoping for a double Protect, but I don't quite get it, and then go for the Dragon Pulse and finish off, just because Shuckle couldn't really do anything else because it's slower, so I may as well go for the Protect. So that Shuckle finished off there, and then more Toxic damage happening here, which is nice, almost, a quarter, pretty much a third, almost a quarter done, Toxic damage. I switch out to Cresselia, hoping to get an Ice Beam off. However, they actually get a critical hit with this Thunderbolt here, which manages to take my Cresselia out. I'm pretty sure without the crit, the Cresselia could have lived and got an Ice Beam off, which could have changed how many Pokemon I lost to this Ampharos, but what can you do, guys? What can you do? Toxic damage works wonders there, bringing him down to just below half. A Gunnar then comes out. I know the only way I'm going to be able to take this thing out because of the +4 speed is with an extreme speed, so unfortunately I don't get any stab from this, but I do get a nice clean extreme speed. They then go for the Dragon Pulse, which actually takes out my Arcanine just from where it is, because it's pretty powerful, Mega Ampharos. But then, fortunately, the Toxic damage here finishes off Ampharos there. So Ampharos really did wreck for my team. Took out Shuckle, took out Cresselia, and it took out Arcanine before getting taken out itself. So, then I send my Greninja out, who is obviously Toxic poisoned. There was a lot of Toxic going on in this match, a lot of Toxic. And they send out their Donphan. So I knew, I could take Donphan out and fasten it if they didn't switch out. They do indeed go to switch out, and switch out to their Trap, their Roserade, who is a Grass type, obviously. I go for the Scold, predicting, them to stay in. I could have gone for Scold. I really should have gone for Ice Beam, predicting a switch, but I didn't have a picture of the team, so I didn't know what they might switch to, and I completely forgot about Roserade being around. So, I went for the Scold rather than the Ice Beam. The Ice Beam would have been a better choice, but, what can you do, guys? So, then I go, okay, take it out of an Ice Beam. Unfortunately, though, this Roserade is Choice Scarf, so it goes for the Petal Dance and wipes out my Greninja where it stands, unfortunately. Choice Scarf, Roserade, not something to see too often, but, it's what happened. And that's hence why they weren't out for too long earlier. So I send my Alakazam out, thinking, my Alakazam is my fastest Pokemon. Hopefully I can, sort of take it out, will be faster. Unfortunately, though, Petal Dance comes off again, and it's faster. And Alakazam's taken out from that 1 health point. I also sent Alakazam out too, because the fact that I was hoping for the 2-turn Petal Dance here. Unfortunately, I didn't get that. It ended up being a 3-turn one. So I sent out my Electivire, who I think was my last Pokemon, actually. So it's really down just Electivire versus Roserade. They go for the Petal Dance, being faster obviously, and do just not enough to take me out. They become confused. I go for the Ice Punch, and that is Roserade gone, and that's that. Well, that's not actually that, because there is one turn left, I do believe. Yep, there comes Chibi again. All down to Donphan versus Electivire. Who is faster? Who knows? Chibi is faster with the Ice Shard and manages to take Electivire out, and that is the game. It was a very close match. If that crit didn't go against the Cresselia, we might have won it, because we had taken out Ampharos earlier, and would have still had Arcanine to deal with Roserade. We would have still had Shuckle to possibly stall out against, not necessarily Shuckle, but you know, we would have still had Alakazam maybe to go against the Donphan too, because it's faster, but who knows? Who knows what happened if that crit hadn't come, but it was a really good game. I really enjoyed having it as well. Really close as well, you know, if it hadn't had Ice Shard, we would probably taken out with an Ice Punch, you know, anything like that. So yeah, again, GG Jenny, it was really good battling. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, etc, etc, etc. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.